Hi everyone, welcome to TechBrain YouTube channel. In today's video, we are diving into a topic that can supercharge your application's user experience, which is social login. You will learn what social login is in this video, why you should consider it, and how to implement it using FastAPI with Google, LinkedIn, and GitHub as examples. Let's simplify authentication together. In this video, you will learn what social login is and why you should use it. You will learn the key benefits of using FastAPI and also how social login works. Lastly, you will learn how to implement social login with Google, LinkedIn, and GitHub as examples. Now, what is social login? Social login is a single sign-on technology that lets users authenticate on a third-party app using their social media credentials. No need to create a new account, just log in with Google, LinkedIn, or GitHub. The benefit is to simplify registration, improve user experience, reduce forgotten password issues. Instead of struggling with passwords, users can log in with one click. Some common providers include Google, Facebook, GitHub, Twitter, and LinkedIn. For this tutorial, we will focus on Google, LinkedIn, and GitHub. Why did we choose FastAPI for this integration? Here are some key features of FastAPI that makes it the go-to choice. High performance rivaling frameworks like Node.js and Go, built-in support for asynchronous programming, automatic open API and JSON schema generation, seamless integration with authentication libraries like Auth Live. FastAPI's modern architecture makes it perfect for integrating social login efficiently and securely. Now that we know what social login is, let us see how it works under the hood using the OAuth 2.0 flow, which is user authentication. The user logs in via a social provider like Google, GitHub, or LinkedIn. Then authorization code. The provider issues an authorization code to your app. Access token. Your app exchange the code for an access token. Then data retriever. The access token is used to fetch user information. Think of OAuth as a way to delegate access securely without sharing passwords. Here are some key components. Authorization server. The social provider like Google, LinkedIn, or GitHub. Then the client application, your FastAPI app. Then resource owner, which is the user who grants permission. OAuth is a foundational concept for modern web security. Whether you are a developer or just a tech enthusiast, understanding OAuth is crucial for building and using secure application. OAuth, short for Open Authorization, is an open standard that allows secure third-party access to user resources. What makes OAuth unique is that it enables this access without requiring users to share their login credentials, such as passwords. Think of OAuth as a digital handshake that gives an app permission to access just what it needs, no more, no less. Why use OAuth? Here are its key benefits. First, it enhances security. By avoiding password sharing, OAuth significantly reduces the risk of data breaches. Second, it provides granular control over permissions. Users can decide exactly what data they want to share with third-party apps. And third, it improves user experience with single sign-on or SSO, allowing users to log in seamlessly using accounts they already trust. Now, let's break down how OAuth actually works using the authorization grant flow. The most common OAuth process. It involves 5 key steps. First, the client, that is the application, redirects the user to the authorization server, typically hosted by a trusted provider like Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, or GitHub. Next, the user is prompted to authorize the request. This step is where the user decides if they want to grant the app the requested permissions. If the user approves, the authorization server sends back an authorization code to the client. This code is like a ticket that confirms the user's consent. The client then exchanges the authorization code for an access token. This token is the key that grants the app access to the user's data. Finally, the client uses the access token to fetch resources like a user's photo or profile information directly from the server. This access is limited to the permissions the user granted. Now, let's roll up our sleeves and implement social login. First, we're going to start with Google. Go to the Google Developer Console, then create a new project. I already created a project named Social Auth. So you can follow this sample by creating a new project by clicking here, then give it any name. You can see we successfully created another project named Social. Now let's select the project. So you can see we selected this project. It lets us enable APIs and set up the redirect URLs, then download our credentials. So to do that, we go to APIs and services, then OAuth consent screen. Click on external. Then we're going to name this app. We're going to give it any name. User support email. Let's use this email. Then developer contact information. Let's input same email address. Then let's save to continue. Then add user. Successfully added this email. Then save and continue. Now let's go to our credentials. Create credentials. You're going to click on the OAuth client ID, which we ask the type of application. You click on web application. So here you provide the authorized redirect URI. Since we'll be using FastAPI in building this project, we're going to provide the local host URI. And likewise, you have to provide the authorized JavaScript origin. So since we'll be using FastAPI, we're going to provide the localhost URI here. Successfully created our OAuth client. So you can copy the client ID, the client secrets, or you can download the JSON. We already created an OAuth app named Social Auth for our GitHub Auth. So you can also create new one by clicking on this button. Then you give your application a name. Let's name it Social, just like the way we did for the Google Social Auth. Now let's add this homepage URL. Then we add the authorization callback. Then we click on register. It's just as simple as that. You can see our client ID. So you will need to generate a client secret. To generate a client secret, click on this button. Then you'll be prompted to input your password or your authenticator app code. Here is a client secret. You can copy the client secret and paste in your .env environment. The next is LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn developer portal like this. Just click on this button to create an app. You'll be required to input your company page URL or your company's name. Let's say, for instance, you have a company name, this, so which is very important to create a new app. You click on create an app. So you can see it's requested that we upload a logo, which is mandatory. Try to upload a logo. Now you can see we've uploaded the logo. So you can also see they requested for the privacy policy URL, which is not mandatory. So we're going to omit that and click on create app. So we've successfully created our app named Social. You can see the client ID. To make this app useful, now we have to request access to sign in with LinkedIn using the OpenID Connect. So click on request access. Then you request access. You can see set success. This product has been provisioned to your application. Next thing to do is to go to your settings, then click on verify. To verify the app, you have to generate the URL. After generating the URL, copy the URL, then paste it in the new tab to verify. Then click on the verify button. You can see, thanks, Social is now verified with your LinkedIn page. Now you can continue to LinkedIn developers. It's that simple. So you click on I am done. Reload your browser or refresh your browser. You can see we have Social been verified successfully. Note that for LinkedIn, you will need a public HTTPS URL provided. So in this case, we are going to use Ngrok. That is because LinkedIn doesn't accept localhost URLs for redirection. So don't worry, I will show you how to set up Ngrok later in this video. To create a directory, let's use the following command. Social, let's name it Social, okay. On our desktop, let's cd into the Social directory. Inside the Social directory, let us create our virtual environment, then activate the virtual environment. To do that, use the following commands to create your virtual environment and to activate your virtual environment. Now we've successfully created a virtual environment. Let us activate our virtual environment. Okay, we've successfully activated our virtual environment. Let us install all the required libraries for this project. We use libraries like AuthLib to handle OAuth and securely store user data in MongoDB. Successfully installed our libraries. Let's create a file named main.py in our directory. We installed the required libraries. These include the FastAPI for building the web app, AuthLib for OAuth integration, Python.env for managing environment variable, Starlet for session handling, and also we're going to install PyMongo for working with MongoDB. We successfully installed PyMongo. Next, let us create a .env file to store sensitive details like client secrets and database URLs securely. This file is essential because it keeps credentials out of your main code base. Here are some of the sensitive details we are going to need in our code. So we store them here in our .env file. Let us initialize our FastAPI and add session middleware. This middleware handles secure session storage, which is crucial for OAuth authentication. Now we connect to MongoDB using PyMongo. Here we create a database called Social Login DB and a collection named users. This will store authenticated user data like emails and profile pictures. We register OAuth clients. Here I configured Google, LinkedIn, and GitHub as examples. You provide your client ID and secrets along with the authorization and token URLs for LinkedIn and GitHub. Here is how we redirect users to the login page of their choosing provider. The authorize redirect function ensures users are taken to Google, LinkedIn, or GitHub authentication pages. Once a user logs in, they are redirected back to your app. Here, we exchange their authorization code for an access token, then retrieve their user information like name and email. This data can then be saved in MongoDB. Finally, let us tackle the LinkedIn redirect issue. Since LinkedIn doesn't allow localhosts, we use Ngrok to create a public HTTPS URL. After starting Ngrok, update the LinkedIn redirect URL in your .env file with the new URL. Before settling up the Ngrok, make sure you have your app running locally. You can see our Ngrok is running successfully. So now copy this URL and paste it here. And also add it to your authorized redirect URLs for your app. Then update. Make sure you restart your app to make the update work successfully. Now let us test our code. You can see that our Google Auth is working successfully. Now let's test for GitHub. You can see we have our GitHub Auth working successfully. Now let's test for LinkedIn. You can see we have our 3 social auths working successfully. And that brings us to the conclusion of our tutorial. Let us quickly recap what we've learned. First, social login simplifies authentication by reducing the need of users to remember multiple passwords. It enhances the user experience, making signups and logins faster and more convenient. Second, FastAPI's robust features like asynchronous support and easy integration with libraries like Auth make it an outstanding choice for implementing social login. And finally, by following best practices like securing sensitive data, validating tokens, and using HTTPS with tools like Ngrok, you ensure a secure and seamless integration. I hope this tutorial has been insightful and inspiring for your project. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your developer friends, and subscribe to this channel for more in-depth tutorials on FastAPI and other modern web development tools. Do you have questions or want to see more advanced topics like token validation or handling logouts? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and I will be happy to help. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep building, keep innovating, and I will see you in the next video.